player, I am loading the equipment overview.
Hey guys, TK1138. I always point at this as if you don't already know that because it's always on my shirt. Anyway, it's me, TK. I know I haven't been posting a lot of videos lately. It's been really hard to find time. You know, I've got some commissions I'm trying to finish up for Endwar, and I've been part of one of the most ambitious and largest nerf projects I've actually ever been a part of with my best friend Jesse. And I'm going to talk about what all that means near the end of this video. But it's big, and I'm looking forward to giving you guys some details. But this is a video I've been really looking forward to doing for a while. So it's April, which is 6 months since I got my FDL-2X. But also, now that I really went back and looked at it, it's been 1 year since I got the FDL-2. Start with the FDL-2 Plus. So this video is going to be kind of a 6 month review of the FDL-2X, as well as kind of a 1 year of Project FDL as my part that I kind of want to talk about. If you haven't heard of the FDL-2, I mean, I don't want to say that's kind of not surprising, but it's becoming really big in the nerf circles. It's Project FDL. I've discussed them in a couple of videos. I've reviewed the FDL-2 Plus, the FDL-2X. You've seen it in my gameplay videos, but it's a homemade 3D printed brushless flywheel nerf blaster. And in my nerf club that I'm a part of, the Southeast Nerf Club, I was like the third person to get one, and now we're up to 22. I think Jesse has probably, between like printing and kits, probably done about 200 or so at this point, maybe 180, 200, something like that. So 10% of them are local, which is kind of cool. But if you play Nerf in a club, you've probably seen one of them. You know, they kind of pop up, and they're really cool, and they make a very distinctive sound, and they're really neat blasters. And especially, it's been kind of going up on a curve. Like Jesse is in Project FDL are making more and more of them, and you know, now we are up to the FDL-2X. They're hydro dip because of Jackie's amazing skills with hydro dipping. They're customized. I mean, they're really cool. But a lot of people are still like really in that shiny stage, and by that I mean like, oh my god, this is cool. It makes a pew pew sound, and it's really neat. if you watch Out of Dart's review and you see how excited he was, that's how I was. And it's really, that excitement lasts a long time. It really does. It's a great blaster. But I want to talk about it now as a year on, you know, where it's not super new and shiny, but it's kind of like become a staple of my loadout. And, you know, yeah, everyone's like, oh, of course you're going to want to use the best blaster. I've got blasters that shoot harder than my FDL-2. Don't, you know, make no mistake. It's not an FPS thing. It's the control. You know, I have one blaster, which I keep putting my hands on as if you guys can see it. This is my my current FDL-2X with the front end V. The SENC, we have all of our FDL users have to have their flywheel cage cover has to be orange. I do have the grip. I have my light on the side. It's a little bit extra weight, but I'm using it for HvZ Endwar, so I'm already keeping it on there. Just get used to the weight. I'm really looking forward to that V3 ammo counter, which is going to go on this side. Rocking my, of course, black and white, TK1138, and Atomic with this cool Atomic logo. What's that, TK? That's the big project I'm working on. I'll tell you guys about it later. And then, of course, my stock and optics. Optics? Whatever. They're really cool. But anyway, you know, it's 1 year with this project. And I know this is going to be kind of a rambling video, but I kind of want to get my thoughts out about it. I was at the point that, oh yeah, this is really modular and adaptable. This one hits about 170 FPS with the new Gen X wheels, and with the spin-ups turned all the way up. I got a setting just for hitting high FPS sniper shots. You know, you lose your rate of fire, whatever. And if you want to know what my settings are and you have an FDL and you're not already part of the FDL user group, Facebook it. FDL user group. And that's where a lot of FDL users talk about their settings, all sorts of just FDL stuff if you want to ask questions or just learn more. Other than that, I like this because I can use this for those, you know, those ultra stock, that kind of word that's come out this year, Nerf games, 150 FPS plus, and I can use it for SCNC. I can turn it down for SCNC zombies where we hit it around 130 to 150. I can have it adjusted for HvZ Endwar, which is going to be 130 FPS. And then I can turn it down even lower for like AUN, the Alabama United Nerf, which has a lot of little kids in it. And, you know, I really don't want to go shooting a little kid at 150 FPS. So I can I can adjust all my settings so that my blaster will only hit like 100 FPS, which is really 100 FPS. Really also cool because we have like 7 of these in the United Kingdom now. Shout out to the Monkeytron Collective and Foam Dart Thunder and, you know, Orev, all the guys over there that also use these for Terminal Infection, which I believe has 100 FPS. Jesse went out there and did that, but yeah, we're seeing more of them out in the UK, which is really cool. And they played about 100 FPS, and I'm really looking forward to meeting some of those guys who are going to be flying in to do HvZ Endwar with us. Really exciting. But yeah, it's the adjustability and the control is definitely my favorite part about this blaster, and it has served me really well over the last year. You know, being able to crank it down and crank it up and adjust all the settings, and especially with the FDL-2 V. I was opposed to the V. When Jesse told me about it and he let me play with one at SENC 29, the month before I got my first FDL, he let me play with the prototype, and it had this menu and the buttons and the interface. I'm like, Jesse, dude, you got a really solid product here, but I think you're making it more complicated than it needs to be. And I was wrong. I was. And I was actually hesitant. I made up my mind I didn't want to get the X. But I was like, you know, I've got to get this reputation of reviewing FDLs, so I kind of want to keep up to date with the new stuff. So I got one, and it has been a great decision. I miss my knobs sometimes, I do, but now the adjustability is actually better than ever. And if you take the time to really do the presets on it, you can have up to 3 presets. If you take the time to do that, it's even faster to adjust than before. I mean, there's nothing faster than turning a knob if you want to go fast, slow, but now I can get like dialed in a little bit better, so I can just hit, you know, preset 1, preset 2, preset 3. Anyway, I really like that. The other big thing that I've seen over the last year is aesthetics. Jesse, I love you, dude. The FDL2 design is obviously a function followed by form. Truly designed by an engineer, and it looks like it. As in, it is... everything is where it needs to be, and then aesthetics were kind of an afterthought. And I actually really like that. It's kind of with my design, what I do a lot of aesthetic stuff, and it's really cool to have just that function and the overall shape kind of being more focused towards performance. But now, over the last year, I've seen these things become like amazing. And I'm going to post some pictures of some of the FDLs, especially of the 20 FDLs, and I think we only had 19 at the time. FDLs we had at an SCNC War, they're every different color, every different design. You have the FDL-2 V kits, you have all sorts of paint, they have high quality filaments and normal filaments and custom printed stuff. Again, this is 3D printed on there, and that's not even the most complicated one he's done. They're hydro dipped, glow in the dark, UV light. I mean, it's nuts. And it's really come a long way from where it used to be. And I'm not gonna lie, there are times I'm like, man, I want to get a new one, just kind of get it redone with all the new cool bells and whistles. But the nice thing about this whole platform is I've been able to send this back 3 times to get it modified. Oh, and by send it back, I mean I've also done the modifications. I mean, I have my original FDL-2 magwell that I rocked it at Endwar, and you can see it's got the short body and everything. Then I got my first FDL-2X magwell, but it was the first one, it was a prototype one, so it didn't have the flared magwell that everybody wanted. And then Jesse sent me the new one, and I was able to put in my flared magwell and everything, and you know, being able to make those adjustments has been really cool. And while I don't think I could ever design something like the FDL, and you know, if you've ever heard of the group Ultrasonic 2, it's the brushless flywheel group, half the conversations in that group go over my head. They really do. And I'm not too proud to admit it, but it's true. And that humble pie was something that took me a lot of adjustment to get to with the FDL. So my primary first was my E11 Mark II, Elite Alpha Trooper, pump action, loved it. Then I moved up to a Rapid Strike, which was really cool. And then I was in the process of building my T28 long shot, and then I got my FDL. And I've heard it from a couple other modders that, you know, they're like, well, you know, I don't know if I want to get one because then what am I going to build? And I get that. And that's not to say it stifled my creativity, but it's kind of like the FDL is the answer to a lot of the questions I was trying to do. Like, okay, I want a really compact, full auto, high ROF blaster. That's my FDL. I want a really fast, high-powered, long-range flywheel. That's the FDL. Okay, I want to turn it down for HvZ. It's the FDL. And so it's actually been a lot more fun to like work on projects that weren't all about performance, because I've got that. And I've made a high-powered long shot. I've actually got another one on the table I'm building. And those are really cool. I've been focusing a lot on sidearms and sidearm stripes and doing stuff, and I've been enjoying that a lot. But it's been hard to put down the FDL-2 in games, you know, especially in something like the SENC, where it's always competitive and about, you know, the other 115 people on the field. It's hard. I've actually enjoyed that about the AUN, running out with nothing but a Chronos or a Strife or whatever. You know, it's not nearly as competitive or aggressive, but it's a lot of fun. I'm not trying to say AUN, SCNC. It's just, they're different games. So yeah, I've had to kind of adjust to that, and go ahead, say, oh man, well TK, it's a lack of creativity. It wouldn't have changed me. Maybe not, and hats off to you. But like, the motivation to work on a new primary, like a competitive one for myself, has been kind of diminished. Fun ones though. I've been doing a lot of just fun, random projects. I'm trying to convert a Super Soaker right now and working on all sorts of cool stuff, but it's been an interesting year. You know, and starting out exactly 1 year ago, I was the third FDL, and then we went to Endwar, and then in July of last year, Bob got his. He was number 4, well, 5, since Jackie got hers. It was Jesse and Aiden, then myself and Jackie, and then Bob. So we were up to 5, and then it was another month or 2, and then another one, and it's actually been about 2 a month in the SCNC since then. And now, you know, I remember we used to be like, oh, there's the FDL group, you know, me and Jesse and Aiden and all that. There's like 4 FDL groups now. There's Augusta, Georgia has like 4 or 5 FDLs. The entire Augusta team who comes over for SCNC, most of them have FDLs. And the ones that don't, I think they're getting them. Jesse could probably be like, yeah, or no. But for real, it's getting crazy. And I've worried that the FDL has, you know, changed the game. And by me worrying, not quite so much, but a lot of the people on the internet, on the Nerf internet community, have been like, oh, the FDL is the pinnacle of what's wrong with this. And I say no, man. I really do. And I get it. I've been playing HvZ since I was, you know, in 2007, 2008. I remember when I had a Recon with a 6-mag, and I thought the Raider with the 35 drum was going to be a game breaker. And if you wanted high ammo capacity, it was either a Raider or a Vulcan. And then when the Stampede came out, and, you know, they had the 18 sticks, we're like, game over, man. But it's not. They adjust. And now I look at big invitationals like HvZ Endwar, and, you know, the amount of gear I brought to HvZ Endwar last year in 2017 was like, I think I had 16 primary mags and 4 backup mags. Yeah, it was, hang on, phone's being weird. I had a higher rate of fire and a higher output and more ammo on myself than I think like half the people combined did in 2008. But that's just how it is. And so, you know, we've had to address humans and zombies and all that balance, and I feel like there's work to be done. I played as a zombie for half of Endwar. I lost all my footage when my computer wiped. It was a lot of fun, but it was also really hard, man. It really was. It was not nearly what it used to be like, where you were just like killing everybody, you know, like as a zombie now, you gotta be hustling. You really gotta be hustling. But I don't think that's inherently a bad thing. I don't also completely disagree with having like 100 FPS and ammo capped HvZ games to kind of enjoy that old style, but I don't think it's necessary, and I think it's regressive to try to make the whole hobby do that. The hobby isn't a strict set of guidelines. It's kind of growing and forming, you know, like, you know, look at how Australian Nerf and US Nerf are completely different. And Singapore Nerf. And I've actually been learning more and more about those respective areas and how they relate to like the US Nerf and how different they can be just because of the meta, you know. Like, they can't do homemades in Singapore, guys. So, meanwhile, here in the Southeast, everybody and their mother has got a homemade. Singapore, nobody does. That's why they all have long shots. Meanwhile, here, not many people are rocking long shots. And then in Australia, you kind of get laughed at for having a flywheel. That's not entirely true. You look at, like, JT Nerf, and, of course, you've got MTB and, you know, a couple other guys out there. But you've also got some serious Springer heads, which, I mean, we've also got those in the States. But learning how each different country and their different rules and just how the games have developed has been really interesting. The SCNC has been always really heavy flywheels, like at least over the last 2 years, it's just been getting more and more flywheels. And we're looking to try and balance that. So we're looking at, in our 14 and over games, which we do four a year, we're going to do like short darts to give springers a chance. And I'm looking forward to like rocking one of my long shots with, a brass breech and short darts and everything. It's going to be fun. But a lot of people, when they think about the progression of flywheel tech, the two three names that come up are MTB, OFP, and Project FDL, PFDL. That way we all have all letters. OFP, MTB, FDL. Ha! But, you got OFP putting more design in a cage than I think Hasbro did. Not that that's saying too terribly much. But, that's huge. And then, you've got MTB and the progression of motors. And not to discount Foam Blast, because the Fang revamps are by far my favorite 130 motor right now. They really are. Sound great. Especially as a big upgrade over the Fangs. For real. But then you got FDL. And then, of course, there's the Ultrasonic 2 guys, but none of them, I think, at the moment have anything but the drop-in kit. I think Drac discussed that. There's a whole talk about that. But, brushless and homemade flywheel stuff, and, of course, Springer tech really hasn't changed all that much, even though we've got better springs than ever, thanks to, Paige and Evan over at Nerf Turf. Thanks, also, guys, for the donation for the SENC. Really cool. But, anyway, FDL. A lot of people think of that, when it comes up to what's wrong with the community about flywheels, and some people we're never going to get through to. But if you're watching this video, I do a lot about FDLs, and I've really enjoyed having this blaster and really just developing a play style with it that wasn't all just spammy spam. This thing will hit 13 darts per second. It's ridiculous. I don't even play that. Even when I run full auto, I have my full auto setting at 65 out of a possible 100%. And it's still plenty fast. I've just enjoyed the snapshots and how responsive it is, especially with that single button trigger, which I really thought I was going to hate at first. I've gotten so used to it. I see a target, and before I even really finish thinking, the darts are down there. And it's really made me a little bit more competitive, for sure. And that's not to say buy an FDL and be a great nerfer. That's not it. I mean, it really is, nerf is 60% skill, and there's a whole bunch of luck in there, and then, yeah, the gear you're using. But that's not nearly the most critical part. I've watched Flying Chicken shoot people with a 15-year-old Nerf blaster with some PVC on it and shoot out people who have FDLs. It doesn't make you a better person or a better player, but it does help some things. And, it's really allowed me to focus on my gameplay, Yeah, I guess I'm rambling. I know I'm at 17 minutes right now, but I really want to talk about this because this was 1 year in as an FDL user. And not the first FDL user, and maybe not even in the front 20 or 50, probably in the first 50. I don't know. I'm not really sure where I lie, but I know I've been doing these for a year. And then now we have the FDL-2X for 6 months, and I ran the FDL-2 Plus at Endwar, which was really cool, and there was a lot of comments. There were 7 FDLs at Endwar. I imagine this year there's going to be 3 times that. So if you're going to Endwar, just get used to hearing that sound, right? The quintessential. Yeah, the FDL-2X has that little note left on the end. I really like it. But I've just gotten so used to that sound. It makes all my other flywheel blasters seem like runaway trains. But yeah, I guess I really want to get my thoughts out there, especially as someone who wasn't looking forward as much to the FDL-2X and was really liking the FDL-2 Plus. There are things I still miss about the Plus, but I also really like the X. I've also really considered going and getting the short barrel back. I think I might do that trade out and just give that a shot for a couple wars, see how I like it. But for Endwar, it's going to be really nice to have the light, which is why I died last year. I still stand by that. I would not have died at Mission 3 if I'd had my light on me and not in the van. And then maybe the V3 ammo counter. We'll see how that goes. So we'll see. But yeah, so why have I been away from the channel? I have been doing something called the Atomic Dart League. Now, a couple of months ago, you might have seen some info from Jangular about something called the Blaster Tag Association, which is a national and international collection of Nerf clubs and Nerf leagues who are going to be playing a couple of specific games with specific rules and be ranked internationally and nationally according to their game. Jesse and I have ever since the first time we did the 5v5s at the SENC, just kind of got on fire about competitive 5v5 and small group nerf. And so together, Project FDL and I have launched the Atomic Dart League, which is going to be the Atlanta, Georgia-based competitive nerf league. And, we'll be playing maybe King of the Hill, Quick Flag, which is based in Singapore, and that's where I've learned a lot about Singapore. And Foam Dart Thunder Speedball, coming straight from Scotland, from Neil of Foam Dart Thunder. They also play, Edinburgh. Oh god, I know there's another one in the UK, and Denmark is starting one, and then us, and it's all like 5v5 stock rival with 4 Artemis and 1 Nemesis per team. It's gonna be really fun, really fast, but we're going into a level of legitimacy on this league that I've never been really seen before. Not in my college groups, not in the SENC, nothing. It's, we're fully insured, gonna have all that, gonna be able to rent indoor fields and indoor soccer fields, and it's a lot. Now, I love the SENC. I love having, 50 guys on my back and 50 versus 50 and absolute pandemonium, and it's really cool. And I am still gonna be a huge part of the SENC, but I'm also really gonna be putting a lot of my effort into this Atomic Dart League. Like I said, we are now fully insured. We're getting venues. We're looking at costs. We're looking at getting all this stuff and equipment, and that's why, I've got my Atomic Dart League here. I'm working on an Atomic Dart League long shot. We've got parts and stuff coming in from the UK, and we're getting this together. We're going to get competitive nerfers and put them in 5v5 teams, let them form their own teams, and just have these, cool little squad games and drone footage, and I don't know, man. It feels kind of like a sport. And it's something I've been really wanting to do because, even with the 14 and over SENC games, you still got 60 people, and being able to slim it down and have these quick games, it's going to be different. So, and I'm sure it's going to make me appreciate the SENC more, being able to do that, and then also have the Atomic Dart League. But it's Jesse and Jackie of Project FDL and myself. We've got a whole bunch of the veterans of the SENC who are also joining in and giving their contribution in terms of information and ideas. And we're putting it together. We hope to be able to play our first game soon and then be able to start a season. And I can ramble on for another 22 minutes and 20 seconds just about the Atomic Dart League. I mean, there's not a day that goes by Jesse and Jackie and I aren't talking about it and calling venues and locking in the insurance and doing the logo stuff and all that. And I'll put the logo over here, but you might have seen it pop up on my TK1138 profile picture on my Facebook. It's up there as well. And it's because I'm all in, guys. We are fronting the money on this, and it's going to be a couple of $1,000s to get this started between insurance and barricades. I'm talking almost 24 giant barricades so we can play anywhere on any field, any flat field, no longer be stuck on trees, and the blasters, the darts, and everything. It's huge, and we really believe in this dream. So we have said we're going to make it work, and we have put up the money. We have put in dozens of hours to make this happen, and it's exciting, and we're this close to getting ready to launch this officially, which is really going to be interesting because Project FDL, which is 60% of this, I'd say more since they're also fronting a lot of the money on it, is going to be doing some stuff with the Atomic Dart League as well. They are Tier 1 sponsors of the Blaster Tag Association, along with Foam Blast, Light Take, Containment Crew, and I can't remember the last one. I'll remember it and I'll post it right there. And probably links to all of them everywhere. It's really exciting stuff. Blaster Tag Association. You can find them on Facebook. Blaster Tag Association. You can go to blastertagassociation.com. And eventually, once we get the Atomic Dart League ready to roll out and we open it up, you'll be able to join that as well. Right now, we're just keeping it down to our local team of people so we can kind of get the idea of our players, and then we're going to be opening it up. But FDL's got some really exciting stuff about the Atomic Dart League that's going to be probably coming out next week. And I would definitely stay tuned because it's going to get shared in a lot of stuff. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this up because I've got 40 seconds left before I hit 25 minutes. That's kind of a ridiculous amount of time. The FDL-2, the FDL-2 Plus, the FDL-2X, it's a lot. It's been a really big game changer for me. I've been really excited to be on board with this. I got to be at the FDL table at Endwar last year. I'll be there again this year. PFDL started as Jesse in his basement. Now Jackie's on board, and I know they've got Troa, they've got Austin, they've got a couple other people on board that work with them now, and it's amazing to see what they've contributed to the community. like them or hate them, FDLs are getting bigger, and I'm really excited to see what like the FDL-3 is going to look like and all the upgrades. I mean, we're talking like we've already got this. He finally has a trigger magwell that I'm getting next weekend at the SENC game. Pretty stoked about that. It's really cool to see a local company that not only has made a terrific product that is sold nationally and internationally and is internationally recognized, by name, but that it's still constantly growing and changing and developing. And I don't think a year ago I could have imagined FDL being where it is now, and I'm really excited to see where it's going to be next year. I look forward to doing one of these a year, like a 2-year, 3-year on with Project FDL and space helmets and brain-controlled Nerf blasters. Sorry, channeled Rob there a little bit for a second. But yeah, I definitely recommend checking out the FDL user group if you want to get some more information and just hear from people who've been using them if you're on the fence about it. I know that price tag scares a couple of folks, but I look at it as a savings, like the amount less I've spent on Nerf stuff since I got this. And, maybe that's a downside to some people. I don't know. But anyway, guys, I really appreciate you sticking by for me to ramble for 26 minutes about the FDL and Atomic Dart League and a couple other things. I appreciate all of you who've been, watching and subscribing. And it's me. I hit 1,600 subscribers. I know that's no big thing for a lot of people, but for me and where I started out, this is huge. And I really appreciate all the support. I appreciate all the questions you guys send and ask me on the Facebook page. You can check me out at TK1138Nerf on Facebook, or just leave a comment here. I try to reply to everyone that I can. But yeah. Anyway, guys, if you want to see some more gameplay footage, there's a lot more coming of the SCNC. And then, of course, in the Atomic Dart League, my FDL is going to be a huge part of my gameplay of competitive 5v5 Nerf. And that's going to be really exciting stuff. I'm really looking forward to it on my channel. I've done most of the gameplay of SCNC. I've been doing repeats now. I'm really excited to do some new style Nerf gameplay. And then, of course, HvZ Endwar this year. There's going to be a lot of really cool pictures coming from FoamCon. I'll be putting up a lot of pictures of the FDL booth and the people that show up, and to see if we can get a good group picture. It's going to be really exciting stuff to see it at Endwar. And if you're going to be there, drop me a comment below. I'd love to be able to say hi. And you can, of course, find me at the Project FDL table at Endwar, or FoamCon. And at Endwar, you can find me because I'm going to look like this. So, keep your eyes open for this. Alright, guys. Anyway, this has been TK1138. Thanks for stopping by for this long ramble, and Nerf well, my friends.